Thanks for hopping on tonight's call. Today, we're just kind of doing Q&A for some of our frequently asked questions that people, seem to struggle with. The first thing that I was asked to somebody struggling with is how to reach out and talk to new people. Because I know that this is one of the biggest things that a lot of people struggle with. So I wanted to kind of talk about this because honestly, I get so many people to ask about that. So first of all, whether you've added somebody just because they're friends you might know suggested on Facebook, or maybe there's somebody from one of your groups, and then maybe they're, somebody that you have a friend of a friend or somebody referred, whatever. So it depends on how you know them too, about how that new conversation is going to go. But for the most part, I always go to their Facebook page and I'm going to see what I could talk to them about. So, if I go to their page and it's like a cover photo of their kids, maybe they just talked about a vacation they got back from or something, I'm going to let's say that it was like a mutual friend person that you added. So I'm going to add them and then say something along the lines of, hey girl, thanks for accepting my friend request. Facebook came up as that we should be friends. We have a couple mutual friends. I see you're friends with Julie. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. How do you guys know each other? And it could be as easy as that, is just picking one of those mutual friends and saying, oh my gosh, I love her. How do you guys know each other? And then being, oh yeah, oh my gosh, her son Max is getting so cute, or he's getting so big. I just adore them. What about you? I just checked your cover photo. I see, how are those your kids? How old are they? And just kind of going into that. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I feel like that's stalker-esque. Well, it's not like you're like, what's your social security number? If they put it on Facebook, they know that's public. Like, it's not like you're saying, oh, what's their names, what their age, da, 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 da. You're just trying to make general conversation. And people love talking about their kids and they love talking about their pets. So I would just kind of like converse with stuff like that. And I have changed so much in this past year because I used to just say, hey girl, how are you? That was my introduction to every single follow-up, every single message. And people just really didn't respond well, especially if I heard already talked to them about the 21-day fix. So I started taking 30 extra seconds, going to their Facebook page and seeing what I can come up to bring up to them. A perfect example, one girl ignored me for probably 6 months, and then I went to her Facebook page and she shared a video of like cats crashing a Christmas tree down or something, and I just messaged her and I was like, oh my gosh, that cat video is so funny. I know my cat like loves doing this and this in the Christmas tree or something. Like, are your cats crazy like that? And she was just like, oh my God, da, 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 like instantly, because she loves talking about her cats, So, but just a hey girl, how are you is not normally something enough that's going to be like, I don't feel like talking to this girl, she's probably trying to sell me that 21-day fix again. So that has made a big difference with trying to get into something. And even if it's a video they shared, I talk about a video they shared, like that funny penguin group, that funny penguin video I shared in the group the other day. I had nothing to go by of this girl that she's a past client, hasn't posted anything, but she shared that. And I just said, girl, I just died laughing. That penguin video just made my day. How the heck are you doing? And it was simple as that. And she was like, oh yeah, I saw it. And I just cracked up, So it doesn't matter if they're just sharing things. It doesn't matter if it's something that they've posted, but I talk about that. And Tasha, it looks like you're just drinking peanut butter from a straw. It looks like a peanut butter jar. Sorry, squirrel. But yeah, so that's what I do, is I just kind of like talk about stuff that I see on their page. And then I say something like, oh my gosh, yeah, I know that they keep you busy at that age. That's so fun. My niece is, this and this age. And it's so funny, the crazy things that they say. And then just start talking to them, but really ask them a ton of questions, because you want to be asking them questions. And then, I was talking to this girl about running that she added me from Instagram. And then I just, was talking about running for a long time. And I said, well, tell me about you. What do you do, girl? And then we started talking about jobs, and we started talking about like pets and like other stuff. So it can just flow kind of organically by you just asking one question, talking a little bit about you, but more so asking them more questions. So, and I know somebody said, I think it was Krista, she commented, she's like, sometimes I feel like I'm like trying to date them because I'm like, how many kids do you have? Da, da, da. And that's okay, because how often does somebody take genuine interest in you? Not very often. People are usually always trying to talk about themselves, and they're not asking you those questions. So when you those friends you have that are just like really good listeners, and you're like, when I have something that I need to go to, I always go to my best friend, Amanda. She's so good at listening. She's so good at not trying to tell me what to do, but she's just really good at listening. Now, my friend Laura is more like a man. She's more like if I would go to Matt with something that she like wants to fix it for you. And she's like, oh, well, da, da, da. And she gives you the answer. You're like, no, I really just want you to be like, I'm sorry you're going through this, And so it's just funny when you find those friends that are really good listeners. That's kind of how I think about being, a coach, is being that person that if you know that somebody you think would be an awesome coach is sick, you check in on them every day. Or I've had a couple girls go through surgery. I check in on them literally like every other day, like, hey, how are you feeling? If you have a better day today? And they'll literally tell me like, girl, I don't even know you, and you check in on me, and you're so sweet, more than like people that are in my family. And that means so much to me, because I'm looking after these people that I think would make amazing coaches, amazing clients, because I know that I would want somebody to make me feel special too. So that's something that I'm really big on. And I think a really great thing that would help you with those people that you're thinking about would make great coaches or clients is creating an interest list. And I've shared a video on this before, but you can go onto Facebook and create an interest list, and it's basically like a mini news feed for the people that you want to see. And I really have to do this because honestly, my news feed is only coaches. Because I'm always like liking and commenting on your stuff. That's literally all I see anymore. So I'm like, okay, did I shoot myself in the foot here? Because I can't see anybody else's stuff. So that's why it's really important for you to make interest lists, so you're not just seeing your coaches, and your fellow teammates stuff. You want to make sure that you're checking in regularly on those people. So you can scroll through and comment and like and interact with those people by putting them on your interest list. And that's like a 5-minute, it's almost like a treat you give yourself too, because you love Facebook scrolling and it's not beneficial, but that is beneficial Facebook scrolling when you're interacting with those maybe 10 people that are on your list of people that you want to sign as a coach. That's going to be beneficial for you. And that's going to give you content to be able to message them later and be like, girl, I saw you posted this last week. How are you doing? Da, 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 da. So interest list is definitely super important. It helps you stay on task and still almost be like rewarded with that scrolling. Melanie Metro says that a lot, is that, she doesn't let herself sit down. When she sits down, she is working on a plan. She is not going to sit there and Facebook scroll first thing in the morning. She's knocking out her to-dos. And then when she gets it done, she like rewards herself with a little bit of Facebook scrolling. So that can actually be purposeful scrolling, liking, and commenting for, future prospects and clients. But honestly, I think the more personal development you do, the easier it gets to talk to people. And the more that you talk to people, the easier it gets to happen too. So even if it feels awkward, even if you feel like you're like, like this person's not going to respond to me, the best advice I can give you is go in there knowing that you're not a stalker, first of all. And second of all, you're messaging them to be able to change their life. And when you go into that conversation knowing, I'm going to change this chick's life. Like, she's going to be an amazing coach. She's going to be able to quit that stupid restaurant job. She's going to transform her life like I have. And that's exactly what I think to myself. Because if I went into that message, with a new person, was like, oh my gosh, she's going to think I'm a total freak. She's going to totally think I'm stalking her. This is so weird. This is so awkward. Like, she's going to feel that too. Because when you come across as like, hey, how you, like, confident, just checking in with them and being genuine, the worst that they're going to do is ignore your message. And boo frickety who, I get ignored all the time. But I also get a ton of people that respond, that I build awesome relationships that turn into coaches and clients. So don't be afraid to get ignored, because it's part of the job. And if you're not expecting that to happen, sometimes you're going to be totally butthurt like forever. So just know that people aren't going to respond to you all the time, but it doesn't mean that you have to stop talking to them. It doesn't mean that it makes you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're obnoxious. It just happens, and people will get busy. If I didn't have that mark as unread feature, I wouldn't probably respond to any of your messages. I would always forget. So, you can't blame people. They're human. It's not even meaning that sometimes they're out shopping and having 3 kids at their hip and then they totally forget. So don't look at that either as, oh my gosh, they totally think I'm a weirdo. So I think that mindset is really huge. And the more people that you talk to, the easier it's going to get. Go for No has an awesome, kind of thing about comparing, quantity versus quality. Your first couple posts, your first couple messages, might suck, but the more that you do it, the better it's going to get. And they had a group that just were able to shell out, pot after pot after pot, and they had this perfect pot. And then the other team had to plan and make this, one perfect pot. One and done is all they got. But the people that got to just, bang out a bunch of pots, theirs was better because they learn from trying. So one girl randomly messaged me when she's about to sign up for a coach tonight. And I looked back and I totally didn't even follow up with this girl. She was trying to buy T25 from me in 2013. And I didn't even follow up with her. And so it was really crazy because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. So now I have a really great system with not letting people slip through the cracks. But then I was going through my messages and I was like, oh my gosh, did I really talk to people like that? Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. And you know what? I still ended up as a 5-star elite diamond coach down the road. You are going to screw up. You're going to say some stuff that later on you're going to look back at and be like, how did I say that? How did I ever hit Success Club while saying stuff like that to people? And it's totally fine. So just know that you'll get better, and don't worry about what you say so much because you'll learn. And I've said a lot of crappy stuff. I've made a ton of crappy posts and it has still all worked out in my favor. So you really can't do anything to screw up this business that bad that people are never going to talk to you again. So you just have to get over that fear. And that kind of went over the maintaining the conversation. Is just ask them questions, be genuine, and then get them into free groups. The more that you can get them into groups, and if you don't, participate in our free fitness group, make your own. Make your own. Autumn just did a 7-day clean eating group, and she had people losing 10 pounds in a week. And, that's kind of one of my big goals is to revamp some of our free groups because I really haven't been doing anything with the free groups to promote turning customers to clients. So you can do that, and I had Autumn put everything into a document. She can share that with us. She's actually going to host our team call on March 17th. She's got a lot of her people from her free group. So she's really good at that. So she's going to talk about that. But yeah, just when you have a group or something you can add to somebody. So maybe think about doing a free group just for your clients, and it can be fitness, it can be whatever. And then that's a great way for you to kind of check in with them, add value to them, and then not lose sight of them after that conversation is gone. Debbie asked about process of an invite from friend request to invite. And I think that kind of covered some of it, but the other thing that I would add is just once you get them into a group, it's great because you can be like, so how's your workout going? Say you added them to the ab group this month. And you say, how are you doing with the ab challenge? They're like, girl, bad, I suck. Even if they say that, you can be like, okay, that's totally fine. You're not the only one. Don't be so hard on yourself. What is it that's not clicking? Why are you not doing it? Is it motivation? Is it time? Do you just forget about it? What is it? And then you can start talking to them from there. So that's why I just really, really love free groups, because no matter if they're doing it or they're not, you can start talking to them and informing them and saying, well, I hate that you're not doing it, but I actually do have an awesome program that I'm doing. I have a bunch of my other girls doing it with me, and we post every day. We're really, really accountable, or we're really, really talkative in that group, even more so than this group. And, we just have a lot of fun together. And I see people posting that they get their workout done at 6, and I'm like, okay, at 10 a.m. I still haven't done mine. What am I doing? So just talking about how much you love the challenge group, how much you love what the program's done for you. I'm saying, I don't know if you're interested or not, but, given the fact that you are struggling with accountability and I know your goal is XYZ, whatever they said, I would just love for you to join us next month. What do you say? I mean, we start March 7th and, do you think you could handle 22-minute home workouts? And I love asking that, like 30 minutes. Do you think you can handle 30-minute home workouts? Do you think you can handle 22-minute home workouts? Because they're always going to be like, yeah, I could do that. And if they say no, you just need to be like, girl, if you can't handle 22 minutes for your health, you have bigger issues. Like, like just being able to talk to people and, being real with them. Like you can handle 30-minute workouts. And most people will always say, yeah, you're right. I could handle that. I'm like, that's 2% of your day, and 22 minutes is less than 2% of your day. So when you break it down to people that, do you watch TV? Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite show? Okay. Watch one less episode, 3 times a week. And there's three exercises right there, stuff like that. So, but I like to go through that. And then once they say they can handle 30-minute workouts, then I kind of go backwards and use that script. Okay. So like, what exactly are your goals? What's your biggest struggle? Is it the fitness side and the nutrition side? And whatever they say, just kind of go with that. If they say nutrition, at one point or time in your life, you have either struggled with the nutrition side or the fitness side. So, just emphasize with them, like, oh my gosh, I totally understand. Nutrition has been such a struggle for me too, because I just had no idea what to eat. I thought I was eating clean, but, turns out I was just eating a ton of carbs and fruit and it wasn't exactly what I should be doing. So the 21-day fix just totally changed my mind, totally retaught me what I should know about nutrition. So it's just been a total game changer. Would you say that you struggle with portion control? So then I go into conversations, like questions that are going to just sell the 21-day fix even more. Like, would you say you struggle with portion control? Would you say you struggle with knowing what to eat and how much to eat? Like things like that. They're going to be like, yes. And you're going to be like, ding, I have the perfect program for you. So that's kind of what I do there, is kind of ask them questions that are going to get them to sell themselves on the program. So anything that I've said so far, does anybody have questions on that, or anything that I've said so far that you struggle with that you have more questions on? Or
so for the conversations that I've been doing better at talking to people about their interests and everything that I find on Instagram. Mm-hmm. How do you lead into the fitness or trying to invite them to a group from common interest?
Okay, so are these people from Instagram that you've got to Facebook, or you're still talking to them on Instagram?
No, on Facebook. I've been looking up people that have the same type of dog that I have. Good. Or that like makeup, or have the thyroid issues that I have. Mm-hmm. And I've started conversations with them based on that, but then I don't know how to get into the other stuff.
Okay, so I would ask them about what they do for work. I feel like I know you so well from some of the stuff that we've talked about, and I haven't asked you a ton about you. I'd love to chat with you a little more. What do you do for work? Do you have any kids? And so just kind of say oh my gosh, I just feel like we have so much in common. I'd love to get to know you a little more, and then just kind of asking some of those questions. And then when they ask you what you do for work, you can say, well, I'm a health and fitness coach, and I also do this, whatever. But you can insert that and maybe see where that goes from there. The other thing is free groups are always my answer for this. So once you're talking to them, about whatever, or you could be like, well, hey girl, I got to get going. I got to get my workout on real quick. I'm so glad it's only 30 minutes because I can squeeze it in here and there. But I'd love to, catch up soon, or, something like that. Did you get your workout in today? Things like that. So don't be afraid to just kind of insert little things like that here and there when in that conversation. Or you can talk to somebody and be like, hey, it was so good to catch up. I got to get going, but I'd love to keep tabs on you. I have this free group that we're all working on abs this month. You want me to add you? It's just a little bit of extra exercise a day. And, who couldn't use a little more, ab work or something like that. So that's always my go-to to get them into a free group. So then they're in a free fitness group, and in 2 days you can check in on them. Hey girl, how's your ab work going? Stuff like that. So, honestly, for me, the free group is the answer to everything, because you can be like, hey, I got to go, but I'm going to add value and add you here, and then give it in a easy way to start talking about exercise with them later. So I think the exercise group we're doing for March is cardio. So it'll be just like a little bit of extra cardio a day. And that would be great. But even if you wanted to just start your own group, this is what I did when I first started. I just started a group. It was called Just Push Play. And I kind of made a post and I said, hey, does anybody, trying to get better with their fitness, or maybe you have a DVD that's collecting dust on the shelf, do you want to get started with it? Just let me know. I'm starting a free group for accountability. It didn't have to be Beachbody. It could have been Jillian Michaels. Like, I didn't care what it was, but I got those people into my group and I would just post things every day. Like, oh, here's an awesome snack idea. Have anybody else ever tried frozen grapes? Or if it was something funny or silly, it wasn't just, fitness related, but for the most part it was, but it was also like, oh, I laughed so hard at this today. So you can always start your own group and it doesn't have to be like a set schedule. It doesn't have to change every month. The reason ours changes every month is because the entire team uses it and it's so big that it's not really feasible to keep the same group open, because then we ended up with like 1,000 people. So, you can even start your own, even if it's just 10 of your like close coworkers and family, to keep them accountable and just kind of post motivational stuff in there every day and be like, I got my workout in today. How about you guys? And then maybe sharing a picture of your meal prep. I just think a free group is so easy and you don't have to do a lot of work for it. And it's all of your like ideal coaches and clients in one spot. So
I just feel like I can't get to that point of trying to sell or make Success Club because I'm too focused on building relationships and everything like we're supposed to do, but it's just taking forever, I feel.
I would take some screenshots and send me some things. And you also don't want to be forming somebody for like 2 weeks. Like, you don't want to be, for me, I'll talk to them for a couple days. And then when I find an in to be able to talk about, hey, I don't know if you're interested, but I just have so much fun talking to you. And I'm running a, fitness and nutrition boot camp for, other women starting March 7th. And I love it so much. It's so easy. It's 30 minutes a day. And I don't know if it's for you or not, but would you want to work out from home for 30 minutes and, and focus on eating healthier with me for 3 weeks? Like things like that, just going in for it and not worrying if they're going to say yes or no. So Danielle said, I had the same issue when I started, and I would form people for days and it seemed like a few months and all these people I had formed suddenly all wanted to buy a CP. So Danielle, I'd love your insight for it, about, Abby's question of not getting to the point where inviting. What would you say, tips?
I was kind of the same way, like where I would do like little snippets of forming them over the course of like 7 days. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like I was just like trying to find something to talk to them about. Mm-hmm. So now I just go look for something on their page that I can bring up, and then I'll say kind of like what April was saying. And then I try to always make fitness or the Beachbody coaching come up. So I'll try to always say something about what they do for a living or something. And then 90% of the time they ask what I do, and I say I'm a health and fitness coach. And almost every time the conversation will lead to where I can invite them to the free group. Mm-hmm. And then I'm done. Like 15, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes a few hours if they take a while to get back. But I've just gotten better at, I guess, drilling in on what to ask so that it brings up the coaching opportunity. And I've had really good luck with where do you work, or like I see you're a nurse at this hospital, what area are you in or something. Mm-hmm. And then it usually will get turned back around where they ask me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, it's honestly just kind of like she said, is knowing what questions to ask. So you can kind of be mindful next time when you talk to people, like what you are able to talk about to bring it back to Beachbody. So kind of just thinking like, oh, if I talk about occupation, I can say that I'm a coach. And, if I, say, hey, I got to get going, I got to get a workout in or something. Did you get your workout on today? And not being afraid to, because you're just taking interest in them. So yeah, and just honestly, just go for some of the questions. If you've been talking to somebody, some of those ladies, though, I want you to write down people that you've been forming for a while and just go for, hey, I just finished a workout and you randomly like popped into my head. And I just wanted to ask you, what are you currently doing for exercise? Because I actually am starting a new fitness group next month. And I was just kind of trying to think of, people that might really help me stay accountable, and I just thought of you. I thought it'd be really fun for us to do together. So, just kind of work with it. But you just can't be afraid to just ask people.
It took me forever to start conversations, period. So then now I have to get past that point.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't overthink it, because the worst they can do is ignore you. So, but your posting has been so great this week. I'm so proud of you. You're doing awesome. And that will generate a lot of people coming to you too. So that's also really great about the importance of consistency of posting. Debbie tells me all the time that that's where she gets most of her people, is just from commenting on her posts, because she's very, very consistent. And, when you're showing that, here's my day 1, here's my day 21, people are going to be like, Abby, what are you doing? Talk to me. So just another reason too, to, show that you're being a product of the product every day and things like that too. So, but yeah, it'll come. And if you're sitting here like at the end of March and you're still like, well, I haven't had Success Club and I'm talking to so many people, that's you saying to yourself, am I actually saying, have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? Or, girl, I just freaking love your post. You're so funny. Have you ever thought about, doing what I do? Things like that. And just going for the ask with people. And with challenge group, just say, give them a compliment and then be like, so, tell me about you. Are you following a fitness routine right now, or what are you doing? Things like that. Just asking them. And if they say, oh, kind of go to the gym, not really, you feel like, well, I don't know if you're interested or not, but if you if you'd like to try 30-minute home workouts for me, with me, I am just absolutely loving this new program, yada, yada. And another thing that I always do is when I'm talking to people is I'll send Melissa's photo or somebody else, another coach on our team, and be like, when they're talking about it, I'll be like, dude, check out my sister. She's lost 99 pounds in 2 years with this program from home. She never had to pay for a gym membership. She never had to drive to the gym. It's been really awesome. And she, it really basically tells you everything you need to know about nutrition. If it fits, you can eat it. So I think also that's a big deal to show people that it works too. So I think every challenge pack I sell, I send Melissa's before and after. I'm always like, when I talk about the money part, I usually have 2 conversations. I say exactly what it is. And they're like, okay, how much? And then I talk about how much it is. And I say, check out my sister. I mean, she's freaking lost 99 pounds. Like she would, I can't believe how crazy awesome this can be, things like that. And people, when they see that, they get like emotionally connected and they're like, I want that. And you can change it also to who you're talking to. I just don't ever send my results anymore, because a lot of the times that I'm talking to people, they want to lose like 30 to 50 pounds. And when I show my picture where I'm like, oh, I'm the same weight, but I gained muscle, they're like, well, I don't even look at your starting, post. So that doesn't motivate me. Like I've literally had people like, well, I couldn't even look at like your starting position, so that's not, so I don't use mine anymore unless I'm talking to somebody that has similar goals as mine. So that's why I always use Melissa's. But so that's just another thing to keep in mind too, depending on what their goals are. If their goal is to gain muscle, you might want to find a different, before and after too. But I definitely think before and afters and just kind of shooting the breeze and talking to everybody differently. You don't have to follow the script exactly. Every conversation should be a little different depending on their goals and their struggles and things. Natasha says, I've been bad with inviting to the point that I don't, but the business doesn't work itself. So I need to get out of my own way and make inviting happen. Tasha, I would say write down 10 people who you think will be good coaches and start forming 3 of them tonight. And then by the end, just say, girl, okay, this may be out of left field, but I've been watching your post for a while and I just keep thinking, you would be an amazing coach. Have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? Because I'm telling you, you are a rock star. that is a huge compliment from people. Even if they don't want to be a coach, they're like, wow, she thinks I'm awesome. And that kind of makes their day. So they're going to say either, no, I haven't, no, I don't know what it is, or what is that? And then you can kind of talk to them like, basically, I encourage other people while I work on myself. It's really cool because you can, just do it on your downtime, do a little here and there. I still have a full-time job, still have a daughter, and I'm able to do it. And just make a little extra money for my family. And then when they say, what does it entail? Then you can say, well, I actually have a short video that my team put together about what coaching is. How about I send it to you? And then we can just chat on the phone. We can catch up a little and then just chat and see if it's for you or not. No pressure either way. Honestly, I don't care, but I just have to ask you because I just think you'd be amazing at it. So it's about 28 minutes long. So could you watch it? When could you watch it by? Let's put a time on the calendar since we're both super busy, and then we'll just see if it's for you or not. Get a time, a date, their phone number, and then send them the link. That's been a really big key thing for me is I don't send them the link and say, tell me what you think. That's never going to work. Maybe if somebody really, 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 really wants it, but that's never going to work. Let me know if you're interested. They're going to be like, no, this is an easy out for me. Cool. So definitely set up and kind of treat your business like a business so that they're going to take a look at that. But don't worry about inviting, because what's the worst they can do is say no and then probably come back later. I've had coaches that have come back weeks, months, and now even 2+ years later that from the first time that I've asked them. So it's just planting a seed, and it's, when you kind of start with, no pressure either way, they don't feel like you're going to stalk them and, until they sign up as a coach either. So that's your homework, all of you. You can thank Tasha. So animated even without sound. It's so funny. Okay, Debbie says, I used to never invite. I waited for people to come to me, and I would only truly invite if I thought they would really be interested. That got me only so far with Success Club. Once I've actually went out of my way and invited, not fully knowing the answer, that's when I started getting SC10 plus every month. You just have to stop being afraid of the rejection. Freaking men. Thank you to that. That was great. Yeah, because what's the worst they can say? No. And then they'll probably buy again, and they'll probably buy from you in 2 months. So don't be afraid to just ask them. Yeah, but mindset, like Debbie said, is one of the biggest things. So you're offering something to change their lives. Like, you kind of have to think about it as if Kelly didn't invite me and my life still sucked, it's almost like, how dare you not share this with somebody that can change their life? Like, don't be a brat. It's kind of my mindset. Like, share this with somebody. It could honestly change their lives. Danielle has told me a couple times that, she was just super depressed, super unhappy. And, she didn't have a ton of weight to lose when she signed on, but she just was really unhappy. And this was something to totally just change her mindset so much and give her something, feeling fulfilled, feeling like you have a purpose. When somebody sends you a message like, thank you so much, like, I don't even know where I would be if I didn't find you in, this coaching or this, this fitness program, that gives you purpose. And a lot of times we are so in a funk because you just don't feel like you have a purpose in life. And I feel like this is 100% gave me that purpose. So you have that option of being able to do that to others too. So yeah, Debbie, go ahead. You don't ever have to ask, just unmute.
I told you I'm bad with computers. What was I gonna say? I think for me, when it really switched was when I actually truly felt like what I was offering them was something for them and not like a gain for me. So much of the time when we're inviting people, we're thinking about getting Success Club points. We're thinking about that $40 pay that we're going to get out of it, which for me in the beginning was a lot. $40 to me was holy crap, So once I started my invites, realizing that I was truly inviting them for their benefit and not mine, that's really when things switched for me. And when you talk to people in a certain way, they'll kind of see if you're really talking to them for your benefit or if you're genuinely interested in helping them. Mm-hmm. And once people see that, they trust you more. And when you do go for that invite, they're like, wow, I think she really has something to offer me. And even if they say no, then I've had so many people, even like months before, who've said, no, I'll never do this. I'm not interested. Because I've been consistent with my posting, they see me every day going on without them, and they come back and they're like, all right, like 5 months later, I'm ready, you know? So I just think you just have to, you know, switch your mindset on that, because that's really how it helped me. And I did that through personal development, really. So that's what I have to say.
Tasha, her daughter's listening. She said future coach listening on. I love that, Debbie. That's so true. And honestly, there's a great book. It's called Contagious. I think it's Jonah Berger. And I really liked him. The way he talked about other things too is just kind of like the way you talk to people. So sometimes now when I'm talking to people, I'll say something like, girl, you know, even when they haven't said like, let's do it, I'll be like, girl, I can't wait to see you on day 21. You're going to freaking look amazing. You're just going to rock it. I know it. And so when you like get that, you're like, can you imagine how cool it's going to feel on day 21 when you see how far you've come? That starts like an emotional connection. They're like already like, they're like ready to start the program, you know? So I think that's a big thing too is, but yeah, that was Contagious. And that was a really cool book about talking about posting and, you know, how to talk to people and things, and just kind of getting them in the mindset that they're going to do it and they're going to love it before they even, you know, say yes. And they're like, that sounds awesome. So that was kind of a good tidbit too, is that mindset and changing their mindset. Like they're going to do it. They're going to have awesome results and they're going to love it, kind of thing. So yeah, that was good. Okay. The next question I had was how to get new faces. So, you know, maybe you've already got a lot of your warm market people that, you know, had just come to you originally. Instagram, I would have you make a new set of 25 hashtags that are for your target market. So, you know, and maybe have some that aren't super fitness related too. Like hashtag, you know, guacamole addict, you know, things like that, things about really your target market and not so much fitness, because I have a lot of people that say, I searched, you know, this and I keep finding Beachbody coaches. Well, yeah, it's fitness related. So try to find people outside of fitness, you know, target market kind of things to find more people that aren't coaches too. You can still use fitness for your hashtags and stuff, but when you're searching hashtags for 531ing and stuff like that, I would maybe stay away from fitness stuff, and you'll find more people that are just average people, like hashtagging their Chipotle, you know, and, you know, they maybe put one hashtag and they have 7 photos and 20 followers. But, you know, when you talk to them because you have a similar interest, they're like, oh, who is that? That's cool. So don't just focus on the fitness, I think is helpful. The other thing is groups. Search Facebook groups. I really wanted to ask a question the other day on my Facebook, but I hate doing it because if I ever ask about, like, you can see my face is really pink. I have rosacea, like mildly, but it's so dry that like ever since I got back from Hawaii, like my skin is like flaking off. It's so dry, and like so many sensitive products don't work for me. So I've made a post in the past, and I had probably 20 inbox messages from Roden and Fields. Oh my gosh, like all of these people that were like talking about their products. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, so I don't want to do that, because even though it generates interest, it's like interest for people that want me to buy their stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to know that it works for people. So I started joining like rosacea groups and, you know, things like that. So, and I just did that like last week, and I was like, how did I never like even think of that? So think about, you know, German Shepherds, you know, Abby with her makeup and stuff. Danielle talked about anxiety. You know, you could join groups like that. Just think about, you know, what you wrote down for your target market and search Facebook groups like that and join them, and then ask questions. So say you join like a holistic health group, and you were like, okay, I use coconut oil for my makeup remover. I put it on my dog's food, and I love to cook with it, but I'm not really sure what else I could do with it, but I know a lot of people love it. So what do you guys use for it? I feel like that would be like such a big open-ended question that people would comment on, and then you can reply back to them and, you know, then friend them and things like that. Yeah, you could have easily Googled it, but think of a question that you could ask and that pertains to the interest group, and then interact with people. And when other people post, interact with them so that you can build a relationship and friend them. You do have to be careful. Some groups, are very strict about, obviously you don't want to just be like, hey, buy my Beachbody stuff in a rosacea group. Like you would get booted and that's annoying. So, and sometimes too, they have rules about not friending people or, you know, if you don't know them or things like that. So always check browse the pin posts and see if they have any specific rules in that group. But, don't just go in there as trying to build relationships and not like, hey, buy my product, because that's spamming and a lot of times you get kicked out. But groups are a great way. And then I would honestly start a like page if you don't have one already. And even if you're just using your same post from your personal page to your like page, that's totally fine, because you're going to start building content over there. And then you can start, boosting a post that's, for $10 here and there and get people that aren't on your regular friends list. So I definitely think a Facebook like page is an awesome way to go. And you don't have to do a lot of effort. It's like, make the page, and I would definitely make it your name. We are in a Dollars to Diamond group right now, and she said, just leave it your name. Mine is April McDonald Health, Fitness, and Happiness. And, I would probably just, if I could redo it, I would just do it April McDonald, because it also does, if people come and it says, April McDonald Beachbody Coach, they're going to be like, no, not following her. She's definitely going to try to sell me something. So when you create a like page, I would probably just do like your name. So one, you can be easily found. If somebody's searching for you, maybe just your regular profile, then they see that too. But I would create one. It's not really a big deal to create. It doesn't really take a lot of time. And you can make a cover photo yourself on Canva, slap some pictures on there, and do that. But I definitely think that that's a great way to meet new people too, because you can boost posts like to your friends who like your page and their friends, or you can choose who you want to target, like German Shepherds or, this and that. And there's some really awesome like page training. I really want to pay for this one, but I just need to not pay for everything the first quarter of 2016 like I feel like I've been doing with all the traveling. So I'm probably going to focus on that. The second or third quarter is really trying to amp up my Facebook like page. But if you have any specific questions for your Facebook like page, let me know, because in our Dollars to Diamond group, there's a girl that's really good at like pages, and she's always asking for questions to talk about. So if you have specific questions that you may have about it, I do have her as a resource that we can ask. Local groups on Facebook. Debbie, what are you talking about? Local groups on Facebook. 40 ads in a day? I don't know.
So what I'm saying is I would just find pages like on Facebook where I live on Long Island and I'm a mom. So I would just Google like Long Island moms or whatever. And there were a few groups, right? So then I would just make a post in there that's pretty specific to me. Like, I would just say, hey, like, my name's Debbie, and I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 boys. I like to do this kind of stuff, I'm always looking to meet new moms because my adult interaction is limited, LOL, and I'm always looking to get my kids set up on play dates or something. So, like, then I would have, like, so many moms, like, commenting and, like, wanting to set up play dates, and then you can go from there and like talk to them through private message and, get to know them. So I've gotten, a lot of people just by making a post like that, but you never, like April said, want to post like, hey, like Beachbody Coach, want to buy this or whatever. Cause I see a lot of that crap and I hate it because it just kind of like turns people off. So that's just my suggestion for different groups. Like I'm also in like a crocheting group, because I like to crochet and not many younger folks do it. So I've made posts in there before. Well, I've made posts in there before saying, hey, my name's Debbie. I'm 27 years old. I feel like I'm the youngest person on earth that crochets. Can anyone else relate to me? Like, haha, whatever. And then, I'll be like, is anyone in here, under the age of 30 or whatever. And then like everyone in there would just like comment, I'd add them, I'd, talk to them, whatever. And I've had success with that too, but you always kind of want to put something like, I don't know, funny in there, or else people are going to be like, whatever, So that's what I do. And I've had success with that and gaining a lot of friends that way.
Yeah, another thing is local yard sale groups. Oh my gosh, I've probably sold 10 challenge packs and signed up 2 discount coaches through yard sale sites because I'm always doing like spring cleaning and stuff. If I haven't worn it in like 6 months, I get rid of it. Especially because now like I live in workout clothes. So I'm like, come on, April, like, do you need that polka dot sweater that you've worn once? No. So I'm really big into getting rid of stuff. And so I will post stuff on there, but then also, here and there I'll buy, things for the house or something like that. So when I talk to those people and say I post something, it doesn't matter how many people, if they are like me. And even if I'm only selling to one person, I add them all because I'm like, oh, it's easier to PM you like this. So one, you get to sell some stuff, you get to make some money, you get to get rid of some clutter, and you get to make some new friends. And they're in a yard sale group because they like buying stuff. So, that's the other thing is that, a lot of times I put on a bunch of fitness clothes one time. I had this girl, I got to meet her, Matt was there, she came and her husband came with her, and literally like we just hit it off. Like we are literally friends now. Like we've gone bowling before, we've gone to dinner. Like she's one of my really good friends in Charlotte. We went to the same gym, we found out. She literally helped me so much with all this health insurance stuff recently. Like I found a really good friend from a freaking yard sale site, and she's, probably going to sign up as a coach after she has her baby. So, it's really cool to just see what groups can do just by genuinely trying to build relationships. But then they also just see your post. And, some of them, I don't even have to do a ton of forming because they see my post too. So the more people you can get added as friends, the, more they're going to see what you're doing too. So does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, excuse me. Okay, well, on that note, Amanda, are you sleeping? So comfy. I'm gonna get going. But if you think of anything else, always just post in the group. And thanks for hopping on. I'm gonna go get my wine. I didn't bring it to the call. But I just really think that the biggest thing that I want you to take away is there's nothing you can do to hurt your business by inviting somebody. You're not going to hurt your business, whatever, by inviting people. If they say no, it's not going to hurt your business. You are only hurting yourself by not inviting. So I just want you to know that if your goal is to push your business forward, be diamond, quit your job, whatever, that not inviting is what's holding you back, because inviting is the biggest 3 vital behavior, because people aren't going to just come to you. With posting consistently, people are going to come to you more, but it doesn't just happen that way for a lot of people. So just not being afraid to invite. And then those people, even if they say no, they continue to see your post. They're going to be like, okay, I've been seeing your post forever. Tell me more about this. So inviting is just planting a little seed and doing a little breadcrumb kind of thing. And if you haven't yet, your post assignment for tonight from our posting group is to do a coach post. So make sure you do that. And if you have any questions or anything, ask me, but this is going to be, the jab, right hook. This is a hook. So this is, comment below or message me if you're interested, and really try to kind of dig deep and think about why coaching has changed you or helped you or whatever. And not just like, it's changed my life. Like how, what, tell me more details. Let people know. So for example, like, I used to come home from work and just be miserable and cry to my husband. And I just felt like I was so overqualified for my job and I wasn't appreciated. Talking about that right there, that sucks people in. They're like, oh, what? That's me. You're describing me. So, whether it's that, whether it's physical, whether it's financially, whatever, just really try to get that emotional connection with somebody and not just be like, it's changed my life. Well, cool, but how? Yeah, Debbie said even the smallest improvement in your life because of Beachbody will connect. Yeah, and it can be like a utility. It can be whatever. And I really try to focus on little things. Sometimes I do talk about big things too, but I feel like almost sometimes when people, because when I think about it, when I first started, I never thought like, oh, I can make 6 figures like doing that. That would have seemed so unattainable to me. So I don't make like posts like that, like I'm projected to make 6 figures this year. People would be like, well, I could never do that, So when you kind of really focus on what you have been able to do, I don't care if it's $40. What have you been able to do with that $40? And I don't ever post like checks or anything like that. That's just kind of like weird, but talk about how it's changed your family. Because if you don't want to lead with the finances, because you don't want to bait people with money, because they have to know that they have to work for it. And always use the disclaimer anytime you're talking about, like, you can't be like, thanks, Beachbody, the Beachbody bought my house. That's something that could get, like, literally Beachbody could be no more if we don't all start, doing disclaimers, because that's kind of, false advertisement. Beachbody can get in a lot of trouble for that. So anytime I'm talking about money, I throw that disclaimer on there. I've saved it in the notes section of my phone, so I can just copy and paste it anytime I say, like, thanks to my health coaching business, I've been able to do this. What changed yours, Debbie? It changed mine in the first month. I don't know what you're talking about. It changed mine.
What I'm saying, you see a lot of coach posts and about how Beachbody's changed people's lives. Maybe like you're first starting out and you don't really have something like huge that it's really done for you yet. So like what I'm trying to say is, in the beginning for me, like when I first started, I think like my first month I made $80 or something. Like it was just whatever. But at the time, $80 to me was like, I mean, I can contribute towards almost all my groceries that week, or I actually feel like I'm making a difference in my family and contributing in some way, because I was just a stay-at-home mom doing nothing with herself. So, even if it's just such a small gain or an emotional gain, share that with people. And don't think that just because you've been in it for, a month, 2, 3, whatever, that it can't significantly, impact you. So that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, you can make it an emotional change too. It doesn't have to be like financial.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. No matter how big or small, don't like write yourself off as it, and you don't even have to sell a darn cent. Beachbody could have changed your, something within you emotionally too. So, okay, well, I'm going to hop off, and thank you guys so much for hopping on. I think this was I was like kind of worried because I didn't have a ton of stuff prepared, but I think we covered a lot of things that a lot of people struggle with. So I will upload this and then share it. And I will not be on the call next week. I'll be in California for Chalene Johnson Smart Success, but Molly is going to host the call next week. So have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys later.